video is going to talk through two skills with the slope-intercept form of a linear equation. We're going to write the equation of the line when we're given the slope and the y-intercept, and we're going to write the equation of the line when we're given the graph. And then the next skill that we'll study will be graphing. The next skill that we'll talk about will be graphing the line from this form of the equation. So here is the form of the equation. Y equals mx plus b. M stands for slope, and b is the y-intercept, which is why this is called the slope-intercept form of a linear equation. A y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So the first set of problems, you're straight up given the slope and the y-intercept. So you're actually given the m and you're given the b. So when you write the form of the equation, y stays y, x and y stay letters, but m and b become numbers. You customize this generic recipe form, you customize it to fit the description that you're given here. And I'll say plus -1. So the numbers written in orange are customized. My slope is +2, my y-intercept is -1, x and y stay the variables, and then the slope and the y-intercept become the numbers. If I move on to number 3, here's my slope, -3/5. My y-intercept is +4, so I'll color code this once again. X and y stay letters. My slope becomes the fraction -3/5. When I write the x, I'm going to write the x really big so that it does not look like it's in the denominator of that fraction. That's very important. And then I'm going to write plus, and then b becomes the number 4. So I'm customizing my model equation. I'm customizing it by replacing the m and the b with the appropriate values, and then x and y stay ordered pairs. Right, the x and y stay variables because the x, y represent ordered pairs that would be on this line. Let me move down and do number 5 on the video. So the slope here is +1/4, and the y-intercept, or the b, is 0. The way that I would write this equation, I would say y equals 1/4 x. You would most likely stop there, but it wouldn't be wrong to say +0 if you wanted to. But just by writing what's in blue, it's implied that the y-intercept is 0, but you could go ahead and write +0 if you want to. I'm confident that you can do the others without my guidance on the video. I'm going to move down now to look at the graphs. So here with the graph, I need to identify the slope and I need to identify the y-intercept. Let me zoom in. The y-intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis. So let's start there. The y-intercept is the ordered pair. The y-intercept is the ordered pair 0, -4. The fact that the x-coordinate is 0 tells you that this point sits on the y-axis. So for my equation's purposes, b is going to be -4, but the y-intercept is the ordered pair where x is 0. That forces the point to be on the y-axis. The next thing I'm going to do is count out my slope, and I can see that this is a positive line as I move from left to right. I'm climbing up, and my slope is going to be up 1, 2, 3, and over 1. So my slope is +3. So to write the equation of the line that's graphed here, y equals 3x -4. So when I look at this, it tells me that the line would, I would start graphing at -4, and my slope is going to climb up 3 and over 1. And as I said at the start, the next skill we're going to practice is graphing from this form. But for today, it's just simply writing the equation when you're given the slope, when you're given the m and the b, or writing the equation when you're given the graph. Let's look at number 8. So in number 8, this line is crossing the y-axis at the point 0, 7. So my y-intercept is 7. My y-intercept is the ordered pair 0, 7, but for the purposes of my equation, it's just simply the number 7. And then my slope is going to be, I'm going to count this out, Okay, so my slope is 6 over 4, and since I counted back to the left, that gives me a negative denominator. When I simplify this, that simplifies down to negative 3 over 2. So my equation is going to be y equals, I'm going to replace m with negative 3 over 2. I'm going to write the x really big so that it's not in the denominator of the fraction, and then plus 7 for my y-intercept. Let's look at a few more before I stop the video, but I think that's actually probably sufficient for you to take it from here on your own. I'm going to move to the next page. And here you're given a few, I'll zoom the camera out. Here you're given a few little hints or steps. Writing the linear equation when you're in slope-intercept form. Here's your generic model at the top. You need to identify the slope and the y-intercept when you're looking at the graph. And then to write the equation in slope-intercept form. And I'll color code it. M becomes a number, X and Y stay letters, and B becomes a number. So what's written in orange, they become numbers. What's written in blue stay variables. And I'll do one or two of these with you, but I think that that should be sufficient for you all. So here, let's do number 2 together. This line crosses, let me zoom in. This line is going to cross the y-axis at the point 0, positive 2. So that means that your B is 2. And the slope for this line is falling, so it has a negative slope. So when I count between the two plotted points, so it looks like this slope is negative 3 over 2. Up 3 and over 2, back to the left. So here's my equation, negative 3/2. I'll write the x really big, plus 2. So I'm just identifying where it crosses the y-axis. I'm counting out the slope between the 2 points. Let's do number 3 on the video. I'll do a few of these, but I think I've probably already done enough for you to take it from here on your own. So here, you weren't given a line to identify the M and the B, but I think that that's an important step whenever you're first mastering this skill. So here, this line is going to intersect the y-axis at the point 0, 2. So my B here is positive 2, the ordered pair 0, 2, or for my equation purposes, just the number 2. And then my slope, this line is rising from left to right, so I'll count up 2 and then over. So my numerator is positive 2, and I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm counting over 5. So my slope is positive 2 over 5. And here's the equation of my line, and I'll color code this one for you. Here's my slope. X and Y stay letters. I make sure that I write the X really big so that it's not in the denominator of that fraction. This would be the slope-intercept form of the graphed line. And let's do one more on the video, and then I think that's probably enough for you to take it from here on your own. Let's do number 6 on the video. So looking at number 6, it's crossing the y. This line is crossing the y-axis at the ordered pair 0, negative 2. So for the purposes of my equation, B is negative 2. And when I count out my slope, I'm going to move up 2. So my numerator is going to be 2. And then I count 1, 2, 3. 3 back to the left. This line is falling with the negative slope. So my slope is negative 2/3. And the equation of my line, writing the fraction, negative 2/3, writing my x really big, and then plus negative 2, or you can just simply say minus 2.